I've been using the M1 Pro 14-inch MacBook Pro laptop now for the last 3 months, been using it every day, and today I wanted to give you my updated thoughts, what I like about it and what I don't like. So if you're interested in getting a new MacBook Pro for yourself, hopefully today's video will be useful and give you detailed info and why it's the best laptop I've ever bought. So I got the base model M1 Pro with 8-core CPU, 16GB of RAM and 512GB SSD. This configuration costs $1,999 in US or little over 2,000 euros or pounds, depending which country you're in. And this is by far the most expensive laptop or even desktop computer I've ever bought. Now the only reason I could convince myself to get one is to be treating it as a required tool, as I knew that it would be used every single day for work and video editing like these YouTube videos today. Naturally, this isn't for average user who just does some basic web browsing or spreadsheets, but for more demanding use where processing power is needed, as well as all those ports that this machine is equipped. 512GB SSD on this one works well for me, as I store pretty much all my files on external SSDs, like my videos, photos, all the material, but for some this size could be an issue. So I use this practically every day. I have it docked into a Thunderbolt docking station with external displays and keyboard and mouse. I'm using this for video editing, writing documents, editing photos and recording my audio. Basically everything you've seen on my channel over the last 3 months and since my first MacBook Pro video have been edited on this machine, and during that time I can honestly say this is the fastest and most capable MacBook or any computer I've ever used. It has been ridiculously fast and very reliable for me. Now I opted for the M1 Pro base model as it was clearly fast enough for everything I needed for, and price-wise it was still reasonable as prices can go up fast when checking configuration. In video editing I'm using 4K material. I haven't done editing with 8K, so that remains to be seen how well it performs. And if anyone has done 8K editing with M1 Pro, let me know in the comments how it was performing. And even though it is so fast and smooth, its noise levels are minimum, as well as I've not ever once heard the fans to start spinning whether I'm editing or exporting a video. It is still quiet. Now for screen size and why I selected 14-inch over the 16 inches was that I mostly have it connected via Thunderbolt docking station and use it with external displays. If I wouldn't have those, I might have chosen 16-inch as you'll just have more space to work with your projects, and it just makes your work easier as that extra screen real estate that you get from those extra 2 inches is what makes a lot of difference. And when I do editing, if I for some reason need to use only laptop screen, I don't really like to do it. Probably would be different with 16-inch model, but for other tasks like normal text editing, web browsing, 14-inch screen is perfectly fine, and watching videos as well, and the screen itself is just amazing with its vibrant colors and brightness. The resolution and clarity on the screen is incredible. Naturally, when using it with external displays, you don't notice the display quality that much as you're mostly watching the external displays, but every time using MacBook alone as an actual laptop, you really notice how nice that mini LED liquid retina XDR display is, and also not forgetting that 120Hz refresh rate is so smooth when scrolling. Also, one thing to mention about the display is the notch. The notch is not even noticeable after some time. I haven't ever had a problem with it. After the first couple of days, you completely forget it's even there. I typically use MacBook with Thunderbolt docking station about 80% of the time. It's connected to two Lenovo 27-inch displays. I then pair it with Logitech MX series mouse and keyboard, so it sort of acts like a desktop computer rather than a laptop, but the other 20% of the time is used away from my desk, and that usually is comfortably on a living room couch. Now, when it comes to portability for the 14-inch model, it's obviously smaller than the 16-inch model, but Pro model is still kind of big and bulky compared to MacBook Air and pretty heavy, lighter than 16-inch model though, but it isn't that easy to carry around. It does have some weight on if it's in your backpack, for example. So if you needed something slim and lightweight, neither 14-inch or 16-inch Pro model isn't that. I've earlier gotten used to HP Spectre laptop, which was super light and slim, and every time I see it, it reminds me just how light and easy it was to carry compared to this one, and this is just the 14-inch model. But I rarely carry it out of the house as it mostly moves only between my desk and living room couch. But as traveling is now getting more and more back to normal, I might travel with this one, and it is somewhat heavier in my backpack than I'd like it to be. Looking at the keyboard and the trackpad, so there isn't touch bar anymore. Instead, there are physical function keys, and personally I'm fine with it. I haven't ever used it as this is my first MacBook, but there are many that have had it and maybe some liked it, but seems that many didn't. And physical function keys are fast and convenient to use, for example to adjust the brightness and the volume. The feeling of the keyboard is smooth, and it feels fast and responsive, and it matches well my Logitech MX Keys keyboard, which is also so smooth, slim and silent keyboard that I wouldn't give away ever. But in MacBook's keyboard, there starts to show some skin oil. Its surface isn't resistant to it as Logitech MX Keys is, as it doesn't show any of it, and this is what I would have hoped for MacBook's keyboard as well. And trackpad is awesome. It really feels good to use. It's reasonable in size, but bear in mind that 16-inch model has quite a massive trackpad compared to this 14-inch, just in case if that is important to you. About ports, there are now more ports than earlier, and for charging there's Magsafe, which is great. Its strong magnets snap into place easily and it holds it well. Naturally, if you use docking station with your MacBook like me, you don't use Magsafe connector that often, but it is great to have there when needed. And there are a total of 3 USB-C ports and HDMI and SD card slot. And also 3.5mm headphone connector that now supports high impedance headphones as well. And so in everyday use, there's really no need to carry extra USB hub for connecting SD card reader or anything. Now, the battery on this has been surprisingly good. Even though I mostly use it with docking station, but when I have it with me on the living room for longer times and on purpose just to see how battery is performing, I haven't put it back to docking station and it does perform well. It comfortably lasts me an entire day before needing to dock it again or to use Magsafe charger. So, would I recommend buying the 2021 MacBook Pro 14-inch with M1 Pro chip after using it for last 3 months? Short answer is yes. It is incredibly powerful, fast and reliable. It doesn't make any noise, there's barely any heat, it has so much power in such a small form factor. And it is superb for both being docked or as a portable workstation. Screen size is something to consider if you do editing and not having it docked with external display. Then I would recommend 16-inch model. Naturally, pricing is something. It is very expensive laptop, especially when you start upgrading RAM and SSD and processor cores, and the price can go really high. Even this base model has quite a price tag. But already with this base model, you're getting an amazing laptop. So honestly, I would still buy this 2021 MacBook Pro with M1 Pro chip if I needed to buy a laptop now. And if you're new to this channel, I'm an engineer that has passion for everyday technology, health technology, smart home, but also personal finance and lifestyle topics. And if you made it this far, I hope today's video was useful. Please drop a like and let me know in the comments if you have any questions, experiences or whatever comes to your mind. I'll try to answer all. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.